financials.
Welcome, everybody. This is technically our day 4. We're a little behind on recording these. It's been crazy the past couple of days in terms of getting things situated in the house, getting things ready for Landon with the nurse, because we've officially started a new nurse as of today, which is Monday.
Yes, it was a very speedy process.
It was lightning, man. I mean, I want to give a shout out and thanks to really everybody who was involved in that process, who pushed and got everything through fast for us, knowing the urgency of my wife going back to work here. So thank you guys. We wanted to talk about the financial strain that EB causes, because I know every single EB family out there can relate to this because they're there or they've been there. Or the biggest strain with EB is the supply costs, and you deal with insurance and going and fighting them in terms of getting things covered. Then also wound care suppliers. Some wound care suppliers don't carry things you need, so you've got to go through 2 or 3 wound care suppliers or try to find one that has everything, which we have come to find out.
We've been fortunate.
Well, we found out that even our supplier doesn't carry everything we would like.
Yeah, but they have a bulk of it.
I would say they have probably 85% of the things we want. I mean, there's some, the tights and stuff, like the skinnies and
the webs and all that stuff. Our supplier, for some odd reason, they it's in their system, but they can't order it, which is kind of weird. So
we went through a period there where we were constantly having to tell insurance, and have exceptions wrote through our PCP and dermatologists and so forth. They had the right exceptions so the insurance would cover it. Mm-hmm. And finally we've gotten to a plateau to where right now everything for Landon's being met.
Yeah.
I'll have you speak on the medical bill side, since you've been tracking all that stuff. I've avoided it because I don't want to go and have a heart attack. I mean, wait till she talks about it. You'll probably have a heart attack for me. But so there's that strain. I mean, there's the strain for Landon's various needs, from clothing and his food needs and dietary needs and nutrition needs. I mean, there's
his food needs and dietary needs. We've been fortunate. Insurance actually covers whatever remaining formula that WIC doesn't cover for us, because right now WIC only measures Landon as like a regular child with with non-medical condition. Mm-hmm. And everything. So right now WIC only gives us 7 cans of formula. Landon goes through 15 cans of formula a month. So whatever WIC doesn't, whatever we're missing out of it, his insurance actually covers it, because his pediatrician wrote out a script through.
To go along with that, though, I mean, we have been, we're thankful here in Ohio there is quite a few programs that, if you're in a certain financial bracket, which, currently we sit in, because with her not working at the time, we fit in one bracket to get some assistance, but we can't get the full-blown assistance for everything, because I make too much by my, with my income.
We're in that gray area. We don't make enough to get the full assistance, but then we're also, don't say we make enough that we don't get assistance. We're just kind of like right there and everything. So it's stressful.
It's frustrating at times. It's like, we could really use the help from a financial strain point, but then, we're in that bracket to where, oh, well, sorry, you make $400 too much.
Or $50 I got in one day.
It's insane. So, I mean, they're very black and white. That's the only downside to it.
The medical bills. They're finally coming in from Landon's NICU stay.
I mean, we're a year out and we're still getting stuff in.
Oh yeah, we're over a year out and everything. Landon was born on October 19th of 2017 and everything. Like I said, got transported to 2 different NICUs and everything. So the transportation just from St. Luke's Hospital, where I delivered him, to Toledo Children's was over $10,000. And unfortunately, at that time, we applied for Medicaid and everything, the state's insurance, because I was on maternity leave, but I didn't get paid maternity leave. I had a non-paid maternity leave from my job. But when we applied for it, we made too much money for that. Sorry. So yeah, we made too much money for that and everything. And then and of course my stay was ranging over $3,000. By the time insurance settled with the transportation line of it was $2,000. So right there, we're over $5,000. And then looking at our EOB finally, after it all, subsiding and coming through, we are very, very, very close to $500,000 in the NICU.
Yeah. 20 days of NICU stay for specialized care of Landon's kind.
Yeah.
Almost $500,000.
$500,000. Yeah.
And here's the crazy part, folks. Technically, zero is covered.
Yeah.
Because our insurance that we had at the time won't go over state lines to Michigan. I will touch one thing on this because I know I've been talking with the financial people over at U of M, as they have been fantastic at not hurrying up and shoving these bills to us. I mean, we got one we've had for a while. This is probably our second iteration
within the 30 days. Yeah,
getting it.
We just wanted to make sure there was nothing else.
But they've been very patient with us and waiting to get all the insurances that we had, because we went through like 3 or 4 of them over this year's period of time, and unfortunately, they're due to their way their process works. They have to run through all of them, regardless if we had it during the care or not. They have to hit every one of them. That's their protocol. And then from there, they have a program called M-Care, which can potentially help lower the medical bills, and or they could write it off as as part of their charity program to help families. So we're at that point now where we're going back to University of Michigan Hospital and saying, all right, everything's been processed. What can you do to help us now get these bills down as low as possible? I mean, ideally, we would love to get him forgiven, because realistically, we had insurance to cover his stay. It's just the insurance is not going to cover any of his expenses.
Yeah. Because, like I said, when we weren't, obviously, when you're pregnant, I'll sit on my hands then. When we're, pregnant with a child and everything, we didn't, expect them to be, have any type of issues. Shouldn't think you have a perfect pregnancy, the child's going to be fine, this and that. You've been in the hospital for 2 days and you're gone home and yada, yada, yada.
Oh, yeah.
And everything. So, but with the insurance that we have, when it goes out of, the out-of-network costs and you go across state lines, they are just like, well, hold on, what the heck? You should make sure that, your hospital covers this and that. Like, who's going to take the time and say, hold on, before you transport my son over to cross state lines, you need to make sure that, my insurance can cover it. We're not going to think about that and everything. But yeah, we have. At the time we had three insurances. We had our primary, we had the Medicaid secondary, and then we had BCMH. If anybody knows about BCMH for Ohio, and everything. BCMH does not go across state lines either, except for the cardiac thing, so they couldn't cover it. And Medicaid, they only cover it from November 1st to the 8th. So everything right now from that was from the 19th through October 31st that we're responsible for.
One last thing to touch on when it comes to the financial strain EB causes is around the travel and lodging expenses. Luckily right now we're in basically a 6-month rotation of seeing pretty much all of his doctors right now. Every 6 months we go through a gauntlet of doctor's appointments over a 2-month period. We'll see all of his doctors. That includes Cincinnati down at the EB clinic. That includes his eye doctors at Cleveland Clinic. That includes his local doctors here, and so forth, and any other doctors. Now we just added 2 more.
The GI doctor and the dietitian nutritionist.
Here. Local ones. We see the ones and we consult with the ones in Cincinnati. But then we also want to have a good local team here, and so far we've been blessed to having that. But anyhow, so that's usually planned travel expenses and lodging that we can usually try to plan for financially to do it. And luckily, our insurance we have will reimburse again.
We get mileage reimbursement.
We get mileage and even hotel reimbursements for this
Cincinnati.
For Cincinnati and so forth. So it's been great to have that kind of help. But again, it doesn't come immediately. You got to pay for it up front, submit the reimbursement.
It takes about 4 to 6 weeks and everything for it to come in.
So then we'll get that reimbursement again. But again, we've got to be trying to think about all that. And the problem is if we have unexpected travel, which I'm anticipating somewhere down the road, we will have unanticipated travel with Landon. We'll have to go down to Cincinnati because of an issue due to EB, and so we gotta, we're trying to figure out a way to save funds to be able to have that rainy day fund when we've gotta just go somewhere, go to a hospital, whether it's Cincinnati or whether it's somewhere else. So again, we could talk forever about what the stresses that EB causes and the financial side of things, but those are the key ones that have really cause a lot of stress and strain in our, our life, even our relationship, and and our friendships with other people. It's affected us all around. So, so we're gonna end it there.
Well, why don't we do the social?
Social, the lack thereof, you should say.
Yeah, the lack thereof.
Lack thereof of social life with EB. Can I get an amen out there, parents? With EB. All right, anyhow, folks, thank you for joining us. Hopefully this is not too long of a video. We'll find out when we're done here in a minute. But again, there's so much. So thank you guys, and have a great day.